All right, so are you ready for a deep dive into this Premier League clash?
Absolutely.
Because I am fired up for this one.
Yeah.
Liverpool versus Chelsea.
Huge.
And Tips Moto is calling this a clash of titans, which, I mean, you can't
Yeah.
you can't argue with him.
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack all of it. We're going way beyond just like your average pregame buzz. Like we're talking deep stats,
Yeah.
tactical analysis. We're
Factual.
even going to get into some stuff from the Tips Moto supercomputer.
Yeah, and I think what makes this matchup especially exciting is the clash of styles, right? You've got Liverpool sitting at the top of the table,
Right.
and they are known for their, I mean, it's almost a new era for them, right? They have this new defensive solidity under Arne Slot.
Yes.
But then you have Chelsea, and they're led by Enzo Maresca,
Yeah.
who's all about that kind of patient, calculated counterattack.
Right.
So it's like this really cool juxtaposition of styles.
Yeah, it's like the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
Exactly.
And Tips Moto's supercomputer seems to be pretty intrigued by this matchup as well. They're giving Liverpool a 59.3% chance of victory at Anfield.
Okay.
Which, I mean, on paper sounds pretty decisive.
It's pretty good.
But Chelsea still has a 19.4% chance of an upset.
Right. And you cannot,
according to Tips Moto.
You can't count that out.
No.
Especially in a league as unpredictable as the Premier League.
Absolutely not.
Anything can happen.
Crazy things happen every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you look at the recent history between these two teams, it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Because Liverpool has historically dominated this fixture.
Right.
But recently it's been a stalemate.
Okay.
5 consecutive draws in the Premier League.
Okay.
So while the Tips Moto data leans toward a Liverpool win, I mean, you can't ignore that head-to-head record.
Right.
It really feels like we could be in for another one of those, like, tense, you know, down-to-the-wire kind of games.
Yeah.
Nail-biter.
And here's where things get a little interesting for me.
Okay.
Because this is something that I found really interesting in the Tips Moto analysis.
Okay.
Liverpool, despite their strong start to the season and being at the top of the table, actually, statistically, have a weaker attack than Chelsea.
Really?
They're only sitting with the 3rd highest expected goals in the league.
Wow.
While Chelsea's attack is actually outpacing them. So how is that possible?
Yeah.
How can a team that has a less potent attack be dominating the league?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right.
It's a really good question.
It's perplexing.
It is.
It really is.
But you know what? I think it speaks volumes about what Arne Slot is doing tactically over there at Liverpool. He's really prioritized that defensive stability and control above all else.
Yeah.
They've conceded the fewest goals in the league.
Yeah, I mean, they've been
And they've got the most clean sheets.
a wall.
And when you look at the Tips Moto data, I mean, their expected goals against is the lowest.
They're incredibly difficult to break down.
So it's like they've become this well-oiled machine at the back.
Yeah.
But maybe they sacrificed a bit of firepower up front in order to do that. Is that kind of what we're seeing?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely a factor.
Okay.
Because you have to remember Chelsea, under Maresca, they are masters of exploiting those tiny little defensive lapses, any little slip-up.
Right.
They are so content to just wait for that perfect opportunity to hit you on the counter.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is where I think that interesting stat about Liverpool's schedule really comes into play. Remember you mentioned Tips Moto's power rankings?
Yeah, you said they hinted that maybe Liverpool had a bit of an easier run.
Exactly. So, you know, Tips Moto's power rankings, they take into account the strength of the opponents. Right. So they factor in, you know, who have you actually played against? And while Liverpool's been dominant, their schedule maybe hasn't truly tested them.
Interesting.
Against some of those top attacking sides.
Okay.
Chelsea, on the other hand, they've already gone toe-to-toe with some of those heavy hitters in the league.
Right.
So this is going to be a real litmus test for both sides.
Huge test.
Absolutely.
So we can't talk about a match of this magnitude without talking about the players.
Of course not.
The key players.
Right.
So let's start with Liverpool.
Sure.
Anyone that Tips Moto highlighted that we should be keeping a close eye on?
Well, the big news for Liverpool is the injury to Alisson.
Right.
He's been such a rock for them in goal.
He's been fantastic.
So his absence could be huge.
Yeah. Big shoes to fill for Kelleher.
Big time.
Tips Moto did point out his impressive goals prevented figure.
Yeah, he's got a good track record.
Do you think he can step up, though?
I mean, he's proven himself capable.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, this is a massive opportunity for him to really solidify that spot.
For sure.
But we also have to remember that Virgil van Dijk, he's there.
He's a rock.
Marshaller at the back,
Yeah.
just a reliable.
And Mo Salah? Can we expect those signature moments of brilliance from him?
I think so.
You think so?
I mean, Tips Moto's analysis seems to think so too.
Okay.
They highlighted him as one of the players to watch.
That tracks.
Especially given his history in big games.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Darwin Núñez.
Oh, he's been on fire.
He has been in fantastic form.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's switch gears.
Okay.
To Chelsea.
Okay.
Talk about their attacking threats.
Oh, boy.
Because they have some serious firepower, according to Tips Moto.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the most electric thing about Chelsea right now is the connection between Cole Palmer and Noni Madueke.
Interesting.
Tips Moto was highlighting their link-up play as like one of the most dangerous in the league.
Oh, wow.
Palmer already has 4 assists to Madueke this season.
Wow.
Just those 2.
That's insane.
I know.
Just the 2 of them. Yeah, and their ability to unlock defenses, I think, is going to be so crucial against this Liverpool backline.
It's almost not fair that Chelsea has even more attacking talent.
You know.
Beyond just those 2.
Right.
Like, it's almost unfair.
It's not fair.
It's ridiculous.
They have ridiculous depth.
They do.
Jackson, Felix, Neto, Sancho.
All game changers.
All of them.
Right.
Any single one of them can change a game in a moment.
Yeah.
It's scary.
That's a lot of firepower.
It's a frightening attack.
All right, so we've got this clash of styles, right? We have a potential changing of the guard in goal for Liverpool and a Chelsea attack that, quite frankly, seems like they could slice through anything.
It's true.
So what's the Tips Moto supercomputer's final verdict?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, they're leaning toward a Liverpool win, but they're predicting a high-scoring affair.
High scoring. See, now that's not what I was expecting to hear.
Right.
With Liverpool being known this season for, their defensive prowess.
Right.
That's really interesting. Did they offer any insight into who might bag a goal or two?
Yeah, actually, their analysis points to Mo Salah and Cole Palmer as the most likely to score first.
Okay, so both sides.
Yeah.
Evenly matched.
I mean, it makes sense given, their nose for goal in this, tactical battle that's going to be unfolding.
Absolutely. So I've got to ask, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Liverpool versus Chelsea, what surprised you the most about all of this from Tips Moto?
Honestly, it's that contrast we were talking about with Liverpool.
Yeah.
This defensive dominance, but then statistically not as impressive an attack as you might think.
Right.
It really does make you wonder if Chelsea can expose that.
Right. Like, can they actually break through?
Right.
That's the big question.
Yeah. Can they find a crack in that armor?
Yeah. And the other big question for me is, can Kelleher really step up?
Right.
Especially in such a big match.
Yeah. Against this Chelsea attack.
Right. Like, this is not
a team you want to be messing around with.
Yeah. No, not at all. It feels like this match has all the makings of an instant classic.
Oh, for sure.
Like a real turning point.
Absolutely.
In the Premier League season, regardless of who wins.
Yeah.
Just a clash of these tactical titans.
Yeah.
A battle of these individual stars we've been talking about.
It's going to be good.
And, just a testament to how unpredictable this league is.
It's the best league in the world for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, I'm so glad we did this deep dive.
Me too.
This was fantastic.
Oh.
So thank you to Tips Moto for the awesome analysis.
Yeah. They're the best.
If you want to delve even deeper into the data and check out their predictions on other matches, you can head over to the Tips Moto website.
Definitely do that.
But for now, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in this clash of titans?
Yeah.
Let us know.
We'll
see you in the next one.